Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. We are in day 2 of our high-level review of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. One of my all-time favorite books. I mean, obviously written 80 years ago, sold 30 million copies. Yesterday we talked a little bit about what the book is going to do for you, and we broke out that over the course of this week we're going to be going through all 4 sections of the book. Techniques on handling people, ways to make people like you, winning people over to your way of thinking, and becoming a leader. And those are some amazing points. I guess yesterday I mentioned that I don't want to get too caught up in the idea that we're trying to get people to like us and things like this. We're talking about persuasion. We're talking about the ability to influence others. And let's be honest. Everything we do in life is about that. Everything we're doing in business is about building strong relationships, working well with people, and developing deep and sincere, relationships with individuals. So today we're going to go into part 1 and part 2. And what my goal here with the podcast and the review is really to, at a high level, review the techniques, the strategies, the principles that he teaches. And I really want to encourage you to get the book, because by getting the book, you're going to be able to get all the stories and the case studies and the examples, and it really hits it home. So today we're going to go through part 1 and part 2, and then tomorrow we will get into part 3, and Thursday we'll get into part 4. So this part 1 is techniques on handling people. And he gives 3 pretty solid techniques on handling people. They're ones that I believe are really important. The first technique is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Because as we know, human nature does not want to admit fault. People get defensive, they get resentful of any kind of criticism that they get. And so don't criticize, condemn, or complain. It's going to take some patience and character and self-control. But he has a great quote in here, and Dale Carnegie says, when dealing with people, let us remember we are not dealing with creatures of logic. We are dealing with creatures, or humans, right, of emotion and bristling with prejudices and motivated by pride and vanity. And we know that to be true. So don't criticize, condemn, or complain. The next technique he has for handling people is give honest and sincere appreciation. Give honest and sincere appreciation. This is going to bring out the best in someone. It's going to help you to, you've got to be sincere. It's got to be not motivated by an angle, but give sincere appreciation. And realize that flattery is not what we're talking about. That's just cheap praise, and it doesn't go anywhere long term. We're talking about sincere appreciation. And he says in the book, quote, I've yet to find the person, however great or exalted in station, who did not better work and put forth greater effort under a spirit of approval than he would ever do under a spirit of criticism. And so this goes back to validate point 1 as well, not to criticize, condemn, or complain, but to give honest and sincere appreciation. And the third technique for handling people is arouse in the other person an eager want. Arouse in the other person an eager want. And, look, forget your own perspective, begin to see other people's point of view, and learn to combine your desires, what you want, with what other people want. And you can learn to arouse that eager want in someone else to help you to attain what you want as well. Now, we're not talking about manipulation. We're talking about arousing an interest in them to go down the same path with you and your vision. And he quotes, if there's any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. And we talk about this a lot with our prosperity principles, and finding a win-win scenario and a win-win situation seen from a different perspective. So those are the 3 techniques he has for how to handle people. And I want to go today and really cover the second part of the book as well, which is 6 ways to make people like you. 6 ways to really get people bought over into you and what you have to offer. Number 1, become genuinely interested in other people. That is absolutely the case. Become genuinely interested in other people. You've heard the phrase, you can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in someone than in 2 years by making them become interested in you. And I think a lot of times nowadays, we're trying so hard to promote ourselves that we lose track of being interested in other people. The second way for people to get people to like you is to smile. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world and vice versa. So force yourself to smile. Force yourself to put out an image of being pleasant and approachable, and a smile definitely could do that for you. The third way is to remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. I know this to be true in business for sure. Remember that people want to hear their name. And when you say their name, it separates you from most people, because most people don't, remember names very well. There's a lot of tips you can use to remember names. Things that I do is, I'll repeat their name. I'll ask them to repeat their name. You can use it often in a conversation. People love to hear their name. And, and you can associate something maybe about them that'll help you to remember it. But using another person's name is a great technique. The fourth way that it gives you is to be a good listener. Encourage other people to talk about themselves. Ask questions. Show interest. Be interested in what they're interested in, and become a good listener. And that leads us right into number 5 of the 6 ways, and that is talk in terms of the other person's interest. When you ask questions and you engage in conversation, you make a very solid impression with other people that you care and that you want to know more about what they have to offer in, your relationship, in the world, in life. And so talk in terms of other people's interests, not just your own, right? And then the 6th way is to make the other person feel important, and do this with sincerity. This comes right back to what Dale Carnegie said with the golden rule. Treat other people like you want to be treated. And everyone wants to feel important. Everyone wants to feel, valued. And so always start your conversations with the other person, with their interests. I had several business partners that I've worked with that were really, really good at this. They always started a conversation, even if it was a business meeting, just a little bit of pleasantry to get to feel, how's the other person doing? Create some interest there. So in order to really, win people over, become genuinely interested, smile, remember the other person's name, use their name, be a good listener, talk in terms of their interests, and make the other person feel important. Now, these are all amazing tips and strategies, and they're just reminders because, it's not just about knowing these things, it's about using them. And, when you can handle your interaction with people in a different way, you're truly going to get more accomplished in life and be more successful and more happy and prosperous. Winning friends and influencing people in a genuine way is not about making people like you. It's about making an impact. I believe if you apply these principles every day, you're going to create more prosperity and happiness. You're going to gain lasting and deep relationships. And we all need to practice these things, not just know them. They may seem obvious, but they may not be used every day. So tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit about the next section of the book, part 3, which covers the 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking and be more persuasive. And then Thursday we'll cover part 4 on being a leader. So that's my message for today. I hope you dig into the book, you learn a little bit more, you study a little bit more, but that's our high level for today on the 2 topics of techniques for handling people and 6 ways to make people like you. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. This is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind overview of how to win friends and influence people, part 2. Thanks.